What a horrible loss. Just inexcusable. But what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another post game here on Mets Central. As the New York Mets lose 5-4 to the Atlanta Braves, and doing it in the typical fashion that they do in this ballpark. And what is that? A rain delay first, which always happens when the Mets are there, it feels like. And then to follow that, the Mets proceed to take a lead. You think they are in the driver's seat to win. You get length from David Peterson, and it seems good. Pause. And then all of a sudden, here comes Carlos Mendoza not getting an arm up in time. Reed Garrett comes in not fresh and then blows the game. And then Francisco Alvarez, horrible. Just poor base running, poor decision making all around. And I'm sorry that I'm getting distracted right now. I'm watching the Stanley Cup presentation, so I want to see who. Yeah, Sam Bennett won the Conn Smythe. Sorry, got distracted there. Just wanted to see that. He's going to get a bag. But either way, I will talk about that on a hockey live stream I'm doing on Big Apple Hockey if any of you are interested. I digress. Where was I? Yeah, leave a like on your way in, I guess. Subscribe. Or if you're watching on replay, turn on your notifications, all that stuff. I just don't get why it has to be this way in Atlanta. I really do not. And hang on a second. I need to get a sip of water here. All right. I think I'm good. I apologize. All right. Now I'm good. Sorry. Anyway, but like I was saying, very frustrating game. Because Juan Soto hits a home run in the first inning. The second inning, they go up 3-0 because you get a single from McNeil, a walk from Alvarez. Taylor gets a double to make it 3-0. Acuna misplaying a ball. I'm like, they are finally hitting off of Spencer Schwellenbach. But then it's like you go to the third inning, right? Soto walks, and then he ends up getting picked off, sleeping. Was he going to steal? I don't know, but he gets picked off. Juan Soto, that is, just falling asleep there over at first base. And then Pete Alonso gets a single, and he gets thrown out trying to stretch it to a double. Just like, what is going on with the base running? And more on that to continue later on. In the third inning, David Peterson got into a little bit of trouble. He ended up getting the first two outs, walked Acuna, Eli White got a single, Olsen got a single, which made it 3-1. Riley hits into a force out. And then in the fifth inning, Tyrone Taylor, just a piss missile, makes it 4-1. It sucks that, again, a lot of these home runs are solo shots. It feels like I'm talking about that all of the time during these post-game shows. But either way, then we get to the eighth inning. And in the eighth inning, I don't understand why Mendoza did not have Reed Garrett ready to start the inning in case. Because if the leash was short to where if Peterson allows a runner or two, he is out of the game. Why is it that you are keeping him, or why is it that there's no one up ready to go behind him? Because Reed Garrett wasn't up until Acuna came to the plate, I think. And then after the single, here comes Reed Garrett, who clearly did not have it because of the fact that he was not ready to go. He allows a single to Verdugo, gets the next two outs, and then he allows a single or a double rather to Ozuna, a base clearing one, which made it 4-4. I don't understand. I don't understand. Reed Garrett poorly locating that splitter. And on top of that, you can make an argument Edwin Diaz should have been in that spot as well. And you could make the argument, I would say, that Edwin Diaz should have been ready at the very least in case this got into further trouble, which it didn't. I guess Reed Garrett still would have stayed in, but I don't know why Reed Garrett wasn't warming up, or better yet, why Diaz wasn't in there, because we would go later on to the game and he put Diaz in for a non-save spot. So what are you waiting for? Why not put him in against the better part of the order? It makes no sense. But then we go to the top of the ninth. Juan Soto gets a leadoff single. I'm thinking, all right, they'll just score runs here and respond, right? And then Pete Alonso hits a fly ball, which I thought for sure was a double off the wall, which would bring in a run. And Acuna makes an unbelievable grab. And Juan Soto is caught like a lost duck going to second base. Why is he not standing halfway between first and second, waiting to see what happens with the ball? I mean, these are basic things that you should be doing in Little League. It makes absolutely no sense why there is this poor of base running throughout this baseball game. Sorry, I'm just lowering my monitor here, which has the presentation on because it's distracting me a little bit. I'm gonna actually mute it. Um, Dreaming of one of my teams doing this. Outside my football team, but either way, I digress. And then McNeil strikes out. Bottom of the ninth, Diaz has a 1-2-3 inning, and then in the 10th inning, I knew they weren't scoring. I knew they weren't scoring because when the bottom of the order is as much of a joke as it is, you just know. You have Jared Young, who swings at everything and swung at 2 pitches in the dirt. You have Francisco Alvarez, who has been just absolutely brutal. More on that in a moment. Gets a pitch down the middle of the plate, and he flies out and misses it. And then Mauricio hits into a pop out because he does not give enough good at bats. Again, I think he should be in AAA for now. And then we go to the bottom of the 10th. Brazoban comes in, and they intentionally walk Acuna, rightfully so. And then Verdugo pops out, and then this is where the game was lost. A wild pitch by Brazoban, which Alvarez ends up playing so poorly. As poor as you could ever play it. And that moves the runner over to third base. Olsen walks, and then Austin Riley just gets a sacrifice fly to end the game. Absolutely inexcusable loss. Inexcusable from the manager. Inexcusable base running tonight. Inexcusable offensive performance. And I would say Reed Garrett, just not a good performance. And the only reason I'm willing to give him a pass is, one, he has been sharp all season, and two, the guy hasn't pitched in a week because I'm not sure what's going on with the bullpen management certain days anymore. But yeah, I mean, it's been a while since he's pitched, and same with Brazoban. And here they come into the game for the first time in a week, it feels like, for both of them, and thrown right into the fire. Right in the fire. And it sucks because I was ready to sit here and talk about it's so nice how they were able to finally hit Schwellenbach. It's so nice how, David Peterson gives you volume yet again, going out there and being a dog. And it didn't matter. And it did not matter. Because the manager's falling asleep at the wheel. And then again, the offense just not giving a good enough performance either. It's not at all. You had 2 0-4s in your top two between Lindor and Nimmo. McNeil went 1 for 4. The bottom of the lineup, though, I mean, what a joke. Outside Tyrone Taylor. What a joke. Jared Young, Francisco Alvarez, and Ronnie Mauricio. What a joke from those three. Especially Jared Young. I don't want to see any more of this guy. But I digress. I'm going to get to the comments. And then I'm going to wrap things up relatively quickly because I got to do another live stream here to talk about hockey. So I'm going to keep this very brief, and I'm sorry about that one. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat right now before I go and wrap things up, which I don't know why my StreamYard stuff, usually that does not stay there. I don't know why my StreamYard stuff ended up changing because I got rid of all my scenes and everything too. Either way, yeah, let me see what you guys are saying. Terrenz has to start for sure. And then it changed the comments too. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Hang on a second. Where do I go to change it? Is it this? There we go. That's what I wanted. Yeah, I don't understand why Terrenz isn't getting the starts. We broke it down on the podcast earlier that He has been the better catcher. Alvarez has clearly not been good enough. And everything that we said on the podcast about Alvarez got backed up further tonight that he needs to be demoted to Syracuse. Sorry, just has to happen. And they have to play better defense as well. Because you have Ronnie Mauricio, too, just throwing a ball into the camera well. Which I get Alonso probably could have got it, but that can't happen. You gotta make a better throw. Braves got their ass handed to them by the Rockies, and here we are. Always. Place definitely is a house of horrors. Diaz should have been warmed up for the 8th. We love Reed, and he's been great. But yeah, against the best hitters, you put in Diaz. That's exactly what I was saying. Yeah. Which you and I talk about all the time on the podcast, that it makes no sense why they can't just do that. I just don't understand why Mendoza does not put his best reliever in against the best part of the order. And we saw it like 1 or 2 times this year, and I'm like, thank you. But he just doesn't do it consistently. I don't understand that. Yeah, no, I disagree here, Will. I'm sorry, but and normally I agree with your comments, but I have to disagree here. You cannot on a fly ball there. You cannot advance there. You have to wait between first and second to see if that's caught or not. I'm sorry, but and yeah, I could try to fix that. I don't know why that's the case too, Cats. I'll see what's up with that. Um, I'll actually check now for you. Um, while that's on my mind, because otherwise, I could tell you right now, I'm going to forget. I could tell you that for free. I'm going to forget. I'm not good with memorizing a lot of things. Although I don't understand how that could be the case. Let's see. Are you? But either way, back to the point that I was making. Just Juan Soto has to be better on the bases there, and it just happened way too much in general tonight. Because again, falling asleep too, trying to steal a bag. That can't happen. It doesn't say that you're banned, so I don't know what that's about, too, Cats. All right. I'll look more into that though another time. Just remind me next time or DM me on Twitter about it, and I'll work that out. But I'm gonna wrap this up here and go do the other stream. Thank you everyone for tuning in and watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe. Turn on your notifications so you know I upload or go live. And I'll see you guys in the next one.